Hi guys, Shu here. I'm back with more writing questions. This one comes from a very good friend of mine, Carrie, and we been doing some good work together, supporting girls in Kenya, writing a few books together, some that some collaboration project that she's led, and then some that I've led. So it's been good to do work with you, Carrie. So this one is for you. She'd ask, how do you kind of organize your book? So more like the process of organizing your books before, as you're writing it, or so you can write it. So a little bit more like the outline, I guess. Um, there's so many ways of going about this, but I would suggest first watch the video that I made previously regarding like the 5 questions that I asked myself before I write anything. Answering those 5 questions will kind of help you organize your thoughts and then help you with your outline. So when the 5 question was what, why, who, when, and how. So when you get to the how, and no and you answer that question, then it helps you determine, okay, where I go from here. So if you're writing a how-to book, then your outline should be like a little introduction, you know telling people why you're writing this book, what they can gain from this book, and how to utilize the book, how to get the most out of it. And then the following chapters should be, each chapter then should be like one of the steps. Each step kind of it gets a chapter of their own, so people can actually know it's separated but also concise. Then it's better to organize it that way. If you're writing a autobiography, I suggest that start with an introduction as well, or maybe like the beginning is no chapter is your introduction, but then kind of do a chronological process if you want. I was coaching a woman recently who was writing a book about her experience of facing, and overcoming domestic violence. So I suggested kind of writing how what your life was before all that happened, because that gives people something to compare and contrast. And actually, not just for the sake of do comparing and contrasting, but so that they see the impact of this incident in her life. Right. So kind of start like my life before the event, and then after that, then she what the event, what happened during the event, how, what led to it, how it happened, what she did afterwards, and then the whole chapter. But at the end, it's like what helped her, like the people, the community, the tools and strategies that others can gain from it. See what I mean? So that there is just another format of, kind of way of organizing your book or your outline. Um, and if you're doing a devotional, for example, like I've written a devotional called Finding God in Everyday Life. Um, and that it's snippet of my own story, my own life, different experiences that I've had. Sometimes of them feel like very mundane, just little tiny things, but how I choose to see God through it. And so then I kind of organize it in a way, again, the message that I'm trying to leave my readers with. The book actually starts with like, um, that all the experiences that we go through as life, that's the first devotional, helps us see God. So when someone's opened that book, like, yes, they read the introduction, the table of content, and then that's the first thing they read, like the first devotional. It's about, wow, everything you're going through allows you to see God at hand, God's hand at work, sorry. And so that kind of, set the tone of the stage for the book. And then from there, then I go different experiences that I had. It goes more like personal things about trusting God. And then there's, more about just everyday life and connecting with others. So again, it kind of things flow a little better in that way for that book. So you have to answer, like I mentioned before, you have to kind of answer those 5 questions earlier that and know how you're going to write it, what message you're trying to convey, and that helps you determine your outline and how to organize your thought to do that. And I tell people I've been there, I've struggled on my own, and then I learned that I can do more with help than I can do on my own. Yes, I've written a lot of books. Yes, I have a business. Yes, yes, yes. All the over reasons you want to throw out there. I've done this before, but even I get support, right? So my suggestion to you is like, no, do those 5 questions first. Use those 5 questions to organize your thought. Whether it's really chronological because it's in the kind of you're telling the story of what happened, um, or it's a how to, and then like each chapter becomes a step of what you're teaching people. Or maybe like my stress relief method, it's kind of a combination. It's like a how to with, but with real tangible examples from your own life, so you kind of weave it within the story. Or if you're trying to do something that it's a theme, like you're writing poems or devotions that kind of capture a theme, and you kind of again use the same. So making sure that as you're writing, your writing flows and kind of makes sense. It has a sequence to it. First this happened, then this, and then that. Right. So I encourage you to do that. But also, even after you've done that, it does not hurt. It actually helps to get people who can look at it and give you the, kind of critique it for you, kind of look at it, give you, feedback. I actually have people who reach out to me just for that. It's like, hey, I've written this book. Can you read it and let me know what you think? And it's not, I'm not editing the book, I know it's just like reading it and giving them an honest critique. And I've done that. Kind of say, oh, here you can add a little more, this part could go back there with the over chapter because it connects better. So I really encourage you to do that. If you are struggling, like you're organizing your work and you're like, oh, I've done it but I'm not sure if it looks good, hire someone to do that part for you, to kind of look at it, read it, and kind of give you some feedback and suggestions of how to improve it. All right. So that it's a very short and sweet answer, but I think, because each story is different, each book is different. This kind of gives you more of an overview of how to go about it. But if you need any more support, feel free to reach out to me. All right. Thanks.